to deconversion therapy. This is Karen.
This is Bonnie. We're having fun internet problems.
Yeah,
because we're in primetime usage.
Yeah, we used to do it on Sundays. We now do it on Thursdays. I was thinking today that also means a lot can happen between recording and when it goes out. So if we're out of date, just skip to the next one that's not there. I don't know.
Or we'll do an emergency podcast if something awful happens to, I don't know, the hostel.
To one of us.
Yeah. The hostel down in Miami Beach. And I say Deconversion Therapy, the podcast, because a lot of you know us from our Facebook group, which might not even have anything to do with the podcast, except it originated a lot of people talking to each other and sharing stories about their whole process and their family stories and what it's like when they go home for Thanksgiving. Well, not this year, but last year.
They tell what it was like to stay home for Thanksgiving.
Right. And be talked to about Jesus a lot. And Christmas.
So there was someone who is new to the group, and this person came in with a serious story and then later was like, oh no, I didn't know. I shouldn't make light. I should do lighter things. And we're like, no. Say whatever you need to say. And then she later wrote, well, if I can also write about light stuff. And then she started telling all these funny stories other people were. I'm like, send them in. So.
That's awesome. I'm really completely depressed, but you want me to talk about light stuff.
That's right.
No.
Shove it down, Stacy. Shove it down.
Repress your shit. So we also have a lot of people following on Instagram who may not have ever listened, and that's okay if you're just a visual learner or something. I don't know. But Instagram, now Karen has some videos happening on there. And, or maybe they originate with TikTok and then you also put them on Instagram. How does that work?
So that works, one, because I think I put this somewhere, but you know this. I, quote, came out to someone I'm very close to, a relative who is also Christian, and I'm like, actually, I've been doing a podcast for 2 years. And he was so loving and accepting and was like, I probably won't listen to it. I'm like, excellent. That frees me up. But I feel like so free now. It's amazing. Like I've had that on my mind or in the back of my mind forever. So anyway, after doing that, I'm like, people had been writing us about, I think the number one problem when people are deconverting or constructioning or deactivating, they are hell. The idea of hell is still there. So I wanted to just do a short little video that talked about that, and I might do about a 10-minute podcast, and it's stuff we've talked about before, but compiling it down so people can just listen to it whenever they start feeling anxious, and then memorize the things of it, and then say it in a mirror, and then live, love, laugh. When people first saw me, my favorite quote is that someone said, this whole time I pictured you looking like the lady from Hee Haw that wore the bonnet.
Sure.
And I said, Minnie Pearl?
No.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh my God. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Have I picked up a Southern accent?
Yeah.
I don't hear it.
No.
Wow.
None of us do. And when I was in Georgia, I'm pretty sure it was get excited, y'all. So, because it's fun to have an accent.
Well, I don't. That's why I'm not having any fun.
Well, I talk like a newscaster, so.
Have you ever heard Kate McKinnon talk when she's not acting? She still sounds like a newscaster. It's so strange.
She is from the middle.
But this is the newscasting middle.
Oh.
It is extra middle.
You know who has a Southern accent but newscastered it out is Ashley Judd. And you know that because her mama Judd has one and her sister Judd has one, but she's an actress.
And they shop at my Kroger over here.
Wow. Let's see. Getting on with the list of things. We're also on Twitter, and people have answered a lot of stuff on Twitter.
It's funny. I can post things, and it's dead silence. And I'm like, you know what? That was a very valuable tweet. You should take it to heart. And then other ones just go. But I think other ones go, especially when it's a question.
I saw you trying to make fetch happen when you posted yesterday, JFC Bulls. No.
I had to throw it out to help you.
Try.
And then someone did respond. They got it.
Well, by the time I scrolled to it at the end of the day, no one had. And I'm like, that's about par for the course.
It's just, we put it in front of their face. We'll put it in front of their face enough times that they'll just be like, whatever podcast.
So in Mean Girls, the one girl's dad invented toaster strudels, right?
I think so.
And so now on the box of toaster strudels, they have a Mean Girls promo, and her picture's on the front, and in the icing it says fetch.
Does it really? Gosh.
I love that. So, like, one day, we're going to see JFC Bulls on a toaster strudel.
With our faces. Saying, deconstruct, y'all.
Y'all. Back to where to find us. We had the Facebook group. We had the Twitter. We had the Instagram. Do we have a presence on TikTok that we should talk about?
That we should talk about? No. Yes, we're on there now. I guess it's just deconversion therapy. I just posted something a few hours ago. It is already up to 6 viewings. I know.
On fire and fuego.
But it's a really good place to, like, make the videos, link it to it. Doesn't matter. Because, you know, you put your head down. You do the work. Results, you can't.
If I make a video of my dog singing something, will you put it on there?
Of course I will.
Can I send you okay.
Yeah, that's everywhere we are. And coming back to
You're on
Clubhouse.
LinkedIn, right?
I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Coming back to Clubhouse, I haven't been on Clubhouse, but this goes in with something I want to say that I haven't talked to you about yet. But, so there are people, and things are really becoming more well-known in the whole deconstruction or deconversion. You can blend them all in and mix them together, sort of non-movement movement.
Yeah.
And it wasn't till I got on Clubhouse that I started sort of seeing what was going on. And I was trying to do it there for about 2 weeks. And then I just felt icky. And I'm seeing things I don't really want to participate in. So I thought this might be a good time to just express to people my side of things. And then you can follow up with your exact thought belief that you're following what I am saying and doing what I'm saying. No, but...
All right, when you say that, you mean about your experiences on there?
No, I mean, as far as my whole place and what is going on and what this sort of zeitgeist and area is that is deconstruction and deconversion, because there's a lot of things coming up about it. There's a lot of the church with a capital C interacting. There's a lot that's happening, and I've realized that it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't want us to be seen as any kind of teacher or leader
right.
in the whole deconstruction or deconversion thing. Don't follow what we say and do what we say.
I don't think it's a movement as much as just people happening to do the same thing at the same time. I don't want to be any kind of prophet for the cause.
That's what I had wished.
That's organizing.
That's
the worst thing ever.
It's just like, have you fucking learned nothing? Have we not seen what it has done to the church and what it has done to the authenticity movement when everyone was trying to be all real and, hey, girl, I'm going to tell you what I'm going through.
Hey, girl.
And then they hold up one of the diet shakes that's sponsoring them. Like, I don't want to be in any of that stuff. So I'm backing away. I'm still on Clubhouse, but don't want to be in any of those spaces. So going back to just enjoyment.
Right. Just do your own thing.
It's do your own thing and be careful of anyone trying to monetize what they've learned in the process.
Well.
And
my big mottos, follow the money.
Mm-hmm.
And if they try to monetize not having faith, that's scary.
It is. And I mean, our newsletter is only $7 a month. And you'll get 2 newsletters that tell you what to do.
No, we're just talking about stupid things that happen to all funnel together. We're a collection agency for phonies.
Right. Don't ever take, because we steal from our listeners and from other sites. So don't ever think we have original thoughts.
Yeah, she wasn't kidding. We do have a newsletter.
Yeah. And so this is a great place to put it in where we just shoot ourselves in the foot. But if you want to support all the things we do, we send out a newsletter. We've done one. But for the people who have registered for the newsletter, you can comment. And once you hit comment, it takes you to a different place and all of us can interact there. So feel free to do that.
I like that.
And yes, we're looking for subscribers to send in their deconstruction stories because we want to include that in it. And we have a surprise coming up. We are partnering with your favorite fake saint candle company, Illuminitals. You've seen their celebrities that are put on the candles and dressed up like saints. I don't know.
And
who we got.
if you don't look at this section in the grocery store or in the bodegas of New York City, you have no idea what we're talking about. But these are those candles that are about 8 inches high. They're glass and round, and it's just a poured candle. But they usually have a saint on there from the Catholic Church or something. But these instead have people like David Cross's head put on.
I have the Tina Fey.
Yeah.
There's Roger Federer.
Shut up.
Kim Kardashian doing her ugly cry.
There's not Rafael Nadal.
No, you can request. But we're partnering with them, and what we're going to do is every month we're going to pick out of all our subscribers one winner, and you will get delivered to your house the candle of your choice. So look for that. We'll be posting about that on all our media.
Karen, I have a question. What if somebody wants it delivered somewhere other than their house?
Well, you know what Illuminitals did during the whole Texas storm?
No.
They gave out tons of candles. They just set up open areas in Austin and other things because people had no electricity, and they gave out tons and tons. So
Texas is a terrifying place right now.
Totally. And I don't think my state's far behind, but that can't imagine.
Oh, I'm surprised it's not Florida leading the way. I'm like, okay, no more masks. This is bizarre because I really can't figure out. The only thing I can figure is that it's a political thing to make people go, right on, I'll vote for you, because they're getting mocked. And I just don't understand the whole politicalization of helping other people and being smart. It's anyway.
God is more powerful. All righty. So I've got a little Easter egg in this episode. Just about that.
Okay.
But this episode's called Church Bulletin, where we gather up all the stupid news, and just want to say, white Christian men, we couldn't do this without you. So thank you. Who is up first in our list of shitty stories? And none of these are like abuse, terrible stories. We stay away from that. Might put something like that in the newsletter, but we don't put it here.
All right, so there is a guy who is famous in the world of wrestling, and his name is Joey Ryan. And I don't know if I'm just so much older that I don't know any of the pop wrestler names, you know, short of Hulk Hogan and Rock, the. Or and John Cena. He's a wrestling guy, right?
That's what I hear.
But those are the ones who have jumped into mainstream.
They've
stuff.
made movies.
Yeah. So the gist of why this guy's being covered is because apparently the people on Reddit say he used to profess to be a born-again Christian. And one of the events that he is sponsoring now benefits somebody that Karen knows more about. But I'm going to read you a little bit from Deadspin. And in particular, I enjoy their headline. Joey Ryan might be the worst person in the world. And it says, that's a highly contested honor these days, so I acknowledge the enormity of the statement. Still, you have to recognize when someone is putting in the effort to take that mantle, as disturbing as it may be. And then they go on to say, you may not know Joey Ryan. Like, oh, there you got to me.
Thank you.
He was an independent wrestler who became very well known on the indie circuit, as it had something of a popularity boom in the past few years. So there's an indie wrestling circuit. Okay.
Yeah, we're indie podcasts, so
get ready.
Yeah.
Ryan's gimmick, and buckle up here, they say, was his penis. Most of his matches centered around getting opponents locked onto that particular appendage, which he
locked on?
Yeah, locked onto it. I guess with some kind of move, you know, if he wraps his leg around him or something.
Sure.
So apparently they're touching it with something.
You should see the Zoom video of what Bonnie is enacting. Okay.
No, I don't know what that meant.
He went like that.
Okay. So he gets them locked onto his penis, which he could use to flip them or temporarily.
The penis flips?
Oh no! I'm reading. I'm not looking. Okay, or temporarily paralyze them.
I just now see it as its own free-acting arm.
I think he thinks that too, because the pictures of him. Oh my God! But the best thing is, every question you're asking, the next sentence in this Deadspin article answers it. It would take a longer explanation than is needed here. Ryan also ran his own promotion, Bar Wrestling, one of the better-known independent companies in the industry. You might be thinking, well, only a true asshole would actually center his wrestling gimmick around his dick. And you'd be right. Of all the names to come out during the Speak Out movement last year, Ryan's was the name heard most. 17 different accusations were levied against Ryan of unwanted sexual advantage, assault, grooming underage girls, and various other acts of dangerous grossness.
And let's just say Speak Out is, I think, wrestling's Me Too hashtag.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, most of the wrestlers named during Speaking Out had the good sense to simply fade into the background for a while, or ham-handedly clamor at blaming it on substance abuse or other afflictions that are in the break glass in case of being revealed as a monster case. Not all of them, of course, because awful men tend to stay that way, but most that wouldn't do for Ryan. So last summer he released a video denying all the claims against him or trying to explain them away and trying to shame some of the accusers. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. That always works.
That would have been bad enough. But anyone that's centered around his manhood isn't into half measures. You've got to figure if he uses... Okay, so I will tell you this much I know. I've seen still shots from his Instagram site.
You put them on our shared doc, which I don't appreciate.
2 of them on there. So I should have put another one. There's one on the left, and it's all centered around the penis. He's got a big... First, I guess he's naked. I don't know. He's got a super dark tan. Yeah. A lot of hair. And he has a big bow where his... is hooker would have been in the picture, and then he's got some garland and a Santa hat and aviator sunglasses on.
Yeah.
And then the other one, he's it's shot from below, and there's a lot going on in these briefs that he's wearing that are floral. I mean, there's a lot being smuggled around in there.
Right.
So, but he also has a shirt that it looks like he's taken off, and a lot of chest hair like Robin Williams. But he sucks a lollipop in a lot of these pictures. So there's sucking a lollipop theme, and then there's another thing where he lifts away from his tummy, his pants, his underpants, and squirts in baby oil.
Oh.
I don't know how that helps with the wrestling. But so he's also sued some of these ladies who came out against him to try to get money from them for the money that he's not able to earn.
Mm-hmm. With his dick. Okay.
Right. So I guess when you use that as part of your act so much, maybe you don't think of it as being something maybe somebody else doesn't want to touch. You know?
Or be flipped by. Or be held down by.
Like that. I don't know if that happens. We should look up some video, but I kind of don't want to. And my dog's acting up. So if you hear squeaking in the background... and now she's on me. Okay, bye, sweetie. Okay, Ryan apparently tried to set up a charity show in, where else? Tennessee, y'all.
Oh, I really thought you were going to say Florida. Oh, that's right, Memphis. I saw that.
For March 20th, called the Wrestling No. 4 Women's Charity Show. Up until yesterday.
Nice. Women's charity.
But up until yesterday, not much was known about the show. Then tickets went on sale and the poster came out on Twitter, which featured Ryan on it. And the ticket info listed Bar Wrestling as the company running the show. So some of the wrestlers booked on the show found out that he was involved. And one of the wrestling presidents, Tony Khan, pulled all of them off of it. So other performers also pulled out, and the show and all mention of it on social media was just taken down. The show was reportedly going to be televised by Fight TV. Don't know what that is. Or at least it claimed it was, but they ended all involvement when finding out of Ryan's presence as well. So now it's kind of sweet. A lot of the people are like, well, just don't go to the show, but donate directly to the charity. But the charity, in part, is why I think somebody brought this to our attention.
Yeah. So the charity is Project Girl, GRL, and that's under Joyce Meyer's Ministries. So this dude, I guess, was like, if he's trying to redeem himself by being a Christian, like, oh, I didn't do all those terrible things, I'm a Christian now, and let's raise money and give it to this Project Girl thing that helps with human trafficking and empowering girls across the world, then I'll look good. But I did look on everything Joyce Meyer, everything Project Girl, and I couldn't see that they mentioned him, as in, it's obvious he was just said he was going to donate it. One.
Right. And
how would
pick
anyone
a charity
know?
For girls.
Right. How would anyone know he was doing it if Joyce Meyer and everyone else have not made a mention of it? But then you have that, they didn't mention anything at all, even to say, hey, we didn't know this guy was like this. So I think he was either using it as a ploy to make himself look good, or he thinks it'll redeem people.
Or maybe he was trying too soon for a comeback or something like that.
Redemption only takes a minute, Bonnie.
You only need 7 days.
You get on your knees and you're done, and that's it.
And then, never mind. I think the people on Reddit said he used to have under his Instagram explanation of who he was, born again Christian, but that he took it off, and then now it only says like Hollywood industry or something like that. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he's taken things off to kind of back off a little bit. But
or
if you
has a publicist who's like, take that down, idiot.
Maybe, but that's what I was thinking.
And then he got his penis and erased on his profile.
So, also, if you guys don't know what Rob Delaney looks like, he has a lot in common with Rob Delaney physically. Like, just the look of the big hairy chest, the big hairy face.
I guess I have not seen Rob Delaney's hairy chest.
Oh, well, I don't know what you've been watching when you saw Catastrophe. You see a lot of Rob Delaney on that. And even on his Instagram account. But, or maybe it's Twitter, but that could be excellent casting. Just in case Rob Delaney needs to write a movie about this.
No, you know who I think of is, who is the actor? He on Booze Cruise on The Office, he was the captain. And then now he does some kind of funny, and now he does some kind of like Discovery Channel thing. I'm going to tell you. And to me, I'm correct.
Oh, all right.
Actor.
Well, and to me, it takes me sometimes a little while to put things together. But what seems to be happening is if somebody of any kind of job that needs to find an audience fast, they just say they're born again. Like, I'm a wrestler and I'm born again. Boop. Like followers.
And it makes people go like, oh, violence isn't good, but it's giving to a good cause. This guy, he's speaking out for Christ with his penis flipping, and it should all be fine.
Well, I even used it when I was trying to make the argument for going to my first concert, which I didn't need to make. My mom was like, oh, all right, go. But I was like, Mom, Bono from U2, he's a Christian. Mm-hmm. Like, see, it's in this article here in the paper. But yeah.
So the actor I was thinking of is Rob Riggle.
Yeah. And Rob Delaney is a less broad
Maybe it's
Rob
just
Riggle.
Rob.
It's just the Robs. Robbie Williams has a lot of hair on his chest too. A lot of Robs.
There's a lot of
minoxidil. Kids, name your child Rob. And he'll have a full head of hair and a full body of hair.
There you go.
Can you imagine the sheets After
No.
this guy, like, leaves a hotel, it's just going to be all little tiny pubic hairs everywhere. I'm sorry.
With suntan oil.
And that guy is
and a lollipop just stuck in the middle of the sheet.
lollipop with pubes. I didn't do that one on purpose.
Correct.
So also, the name of this wrestling organization that they mentioned in the article is Impact, which is also the name of every youth group. I love that. But we've got to put pictures of him on there.
Oh, no, thank you.
No, come on. We got to put them on our Instagram.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You've got to see this package. I've got to look up video and see what he does.
Merry Christmas, ladies. Okay. So our next thing in the church bulletin, I got to say his name fully. Let me find it.
The one with the 3 letters?
Yeah, so his name is Cy Tin Braggan-Kate, I think. No, it's Bruggen.
Oh, okay.
So it's Cy, and then not the number 10, but written number 10.
Okay.
Bruggen-Kate. I don't understand the name.
Is the 10 a number 10 and the 8 is a number 8?
It is not, but that would have been...
His license plate is.
Would have been fresh.
Keep an eye out for that around town. So guess what? Guess what he doesn't have not being named Rob? Hair.
He is bald. All we know is this is in the last 24 hours from when we're recording this. He is an apologist. And what an apologist is someone who likes to argue. And that's it. So he likes to argue that the Bible is true. He has this website that's called proofgodexists.org, I think.
Whatever.
And
it's blank. It's just a 404 error.
Yep. He does a circular logic situation that God exists because, and he uses the Bible as the default mechanism to prove that God exists. So he has supposedly debated some atheists, and he tried or did make a name for himself as an apologist. And in the last 24 hours, I went back and I looked him up on Twitter, and I saw that he was like in this 3-way quote argument with these 2 other people.
Okay.
Yep. Whoops. Argument with these 2 other people, and I think it's just something they do for fun, where they like to argue. They're just trolling each other.
I have a person in my life who does that for fun.
Right.
For them.
Yeah. Fun for them. And so then 2 of the people just kept going. And then I saw one of them go, Cy, are you there? Cy, where are you? And then you find out that when you click on his thing, his whole Twitter is down.
Of course.
And he put on Facebook and on his website that this message that it's with great sadness that he needs to say that he's been, quote, guilty of moral failure and will no longer be involved in public ministry. Then it says, I've spoken with the elders of my church, and they have determined that my sin disqualifies me from the ministry. So he's taken down a lot of the stuff. He said, you can get in touch with the elders and blah, blah, blah. But the rhetoric of it is fascinating. No one has known what he's done. But when you say that they have decided my sin disqualifies you, I'm like, okay, do you not think it would disqualify you?
Yeah.
So that makes me think maybe it's just like, you know, a little bit of gambling or something where there's not a victim involved, and I'm making up the gambling, but, you know, thought life.
I put a bet on a horse.
Right.
thought
It
life.
could be. Yeah.
Which is
So that's-
actually, that should be taught in the home, too. Watch out. Protect your thought life. Don't think about killing people.
So I don't know if what he has done, what it is, but the way he's worded it makes me think he didn't think it should disqualify him from the ministry, but he's going to go ahead and do that. So it'll be interesting if we come to find out he did have an affair or something like that, where that means there is a victim. Which
So it's
will
moral
be,
failure as we know right now.
yes.
That's all we
That's
know.
it. Don't know. By the time this comes out, maybe people will know.
Well, he says he's submitted himself to the care of the elders.
Well,
What does
he's
that
gotta submit.
mean?
Just means,
If he
you know,
submitted himself to the care of the elders, maybe it's drugs.
I think
I mean-
your serious face. I think it just, what that phrase means would broadly mean they're going to counsel me and blah, blah, blah. But you're absolutely right. It could be drugs.
And if it
could be painkillers. We don't know.
And it says, if you have any questions, please email my elders at mom and dad.
At my mistress, my drug dealer. No, we do not. No.
Why don't we take a break for 1 second here, and I'm going to Google it just to see if anything is broken.
I already looked.
What do you mean?
Right before we started, I looked.
Whatever. So
There's still nothing.
Who is Cy? He's just a preacher and he argues on the interweb.
He's not a preacher. He's an apologist.
He says he's involved in public
means
ministry.
Someone no one really wants to listen to behind a pulpit, but is really good at arguing and pretending they know more than other people. But I do want to say that his website is interesting because he sells shirts. And let me add, he sells them for much more than we do. And one it looks like a germ, and it's called Pan-Democrats, Fear That Matters. I don't totally get it. I think it's a poking at people who believe in science, but that's fine. And then another one.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's like Black Lives Matter. Fear matters.
He's a... And then...
He's a
then
Joey Ryan prop.
There's one that looks like the cover of Jaws, but it says laws. And it has a guy swimming, and then it gives some of the
Bible
Ten Commandments.
verses? Oh, okay.
But what's interesting, again... Oh, and then there's another shirt that uses the coexist, but then talks about how bad that is.
No, you put that on here. That's awful. It says coexist equals fiction. Really? And then the downward arrow, and it says repent. So, like, we can't coexist. We can't just have everybody living on the same planet believing what they want to believe. So that's fiction.
We can't. We just can't.
That's just mean.
And the other thing that's mean is all these T-shirt ideas are copies. Again, there is no original, like, I've come up with this new logo idea. It's all just copying, like, Jaws. But now we're just going to, I got an idea. How about laws? It's just, anyway. Hopefully, whatever his moral problems were, they don't have a victim. And that goes unsmoothly into your pal and mine, pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And
I can't stand the pillow guy.
I love the pillow guy.
I haven't been able to stand him since I ripped his face when I bought one of his damn pillows because I was trying to find the right pillow, and I thought, well, these are all over the place. They are like little shreds, little balls of foam, and it's awful. And I decided I would take Bed Bath & Beyond up on their offer to return anything, and they gladly returned my money.
Yeah.
And the reason I can't stand him is because he has a non-ironic, freestanding mustache. And it's not connected to any other facial hair. Like, there's no beard. Like, beard and mustache all connected, those are okay. But I just keep noticing my raw data tells me people with freestanding mustaches are either super earnest or macho and have something to prove, that they feel like that adds to them proving their power.
Yeah.
Like, it's often like the guys in trouble on Dateline. Scott Peterson, I think, isn't that the one who had the 2 different wives that he killed?
Right, the cop.
Yeah, not the handsome Scott Peterson. There were 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's Michael Peterson. I know.
There's just a lot of...
That name. Lots of killers named Peterson.
Yeah, but I mean, it just seems that whole mustache thing, there's something about it.
To me, it looks like this was my hairstyle, just a little too long for now. This was my hairstyle. This was my mustache in 1985. I can't understand aging.
Yeah.
And...
because he's too old to have brown hair like that, too. Which... yeah.
It's almost black, isn't it? I don't know.
I just mean not gray. And so there's something to do with, like, excessive vanity that upsets me. And the fact that he's hugging that fucking pillow, too, that sickens me.
So he's not kept his natural hair color because he got such a good night's sleep on his pillow. I thought that was it. Well, last week, a video went semi-viral, at least in our circles, of a huge crowd all holding these pillows, and then Pillow Man guy kneeling on the pillow and leading all of them in prayer. And I looked it up, and it was actually from 2019. It was Liberty University's convocation. So they were starting off their semester. They bring in
the pillow
Mike
guy.
Yes, in his probably tan leisure suit.
No, he always wears something tucked into pants.
I think there's a lot of tucking in, and he came, and then he gave out pillows. And I mean, there were a lot of them. There were, I don't know what I have here. Wait a minute. 12,000 pillows filled the arena. And it was about $600,000 worth.
Yeah, that's what he says. He can put up whatever price he wants on those pillows. That's not really what their worth is. Mm-hmm. Whatever. I didn't like his pillow.
Let's be clear, Bunny did not like his pillow. And then the School of Business, the dean presented him with an honorary doctorate of business because he's so successful. I wonder if they've taken it back or he's sold it on eBay now. I don't know. But he'd sold over 41 million pillows at that time.
Oh, my God.
I know. And that he, they say, was one of the greatest Christian businessmen on the planet. And he said the pillow is just a platform for a much bigger thing. Mm-hmm. So he, therefore, uses the pillow. He said it's to call out and speak about Jesus. But I didn't know. I read a small thing about where he was supposedly addicted to crack for
Wait, we better be sure that's real.
He says yes.
Really?
He was addicted, to crack for quite a few years. And I think it's what he wrote about in his book. Ready for the title? What are the odds? Question mark. From crack addict.
Shrug.
To CEO. And so, he was a crack addict, and he said, he was redeemed, and he gives this whole, thing. I think he was a crack addict when he was saved, which could mean that's how he looked when he started in 85, and he hasn't gotten past that as a way of redeeming. But, you know, once we saw him walk into the White House or try to get in the White House, and he had that list that everyone could read about how Trump should call martial law because Trump is the real president, makes me question even his crack addictness.
Like maybe I need a good testimony story.
Yeah, I don't know where your reality really fits in here. 1, you think you have a great pillow. 2, you think the mustache works. 3,
the most important part that affects our chat right now is that he tries to shove this stuff down our throats. Like, don't force us to believe in your religion. That's so old school. That's so biblical. Haven't we figured things out now? Some of us have, I think.
I hate to say that I had been in sort of semicircles like this guy had been. I had been in the circles, and I guarantee that his workers or he pray over the pillows because they know they're going into homes. So you tried to lay your head on a prayed-on pillow. Did not work.
Maybe they have, like, notes written in the foam balls that are inside, too.
Yeah.
Little fortune cookie Bible verses and lucky numbers on the back. Oh, God.
But you can look at the pictures, you know. It's just all these people hugging the pillow in a big arena. It's pretty gross.
I don't like it. It's a bad pillow.
So the next guy is a dickwad named Pastor Keith Kraft, and he held an all-men's warrior night, and that went viral because he started mocking the idea of wearing masks, and he told the Christian crowd of men that our country was being run by pussies. So I love that you can have a men's church meeting and use the word pussies, so that is spectacular.
That's not right.
It ain't right. So I looked into him, and he is could be a whole episode himself. He has a website where I thought it would be all about his pastoring. It's not. It's about his life coaching, and he's inspiring. And
that means that's how he makes money.
Yep. It's a total, other thing. But let me tell you, also, you don't just get those things. Yes, there's a third. He is behind a power team, not branch, but spin-off or, copycat called Strike Force.
The bodybuilders who go to churches and, bounce around on the stage and do feats of strength.
Total feats of strength. Okay. And so the two best ironies of all of this to me is, one, his Strike Force goes into schools and they talk about anti-bullying, although he just called people pussies.
And why would you mock the idea of wearing masks? Aren't we allowed to have a little bit of a choice in this country?
Oh, I guess not. You're seen as a real wuss. But that didn't stop him from, on his keithcraft.org website that's all about him, not about Jesus very much.
Because he just wants an audience to help him get paid.
Yep.
Get paid.
But he has a shop.
A shop? Great.
He does.
Does he have $50 T-shirts?
No. Not just that. He sold face masks.
What?
Yep. With his logo. He has face masks. So I click on it, and then it says, sorry, there's no product. So I think he took down the face mask because he went all no face mask.
Oh, my God.
And he's telling people not to wear face masks. And, of course, he's in Texas, so poor Texas. People get to live with this idiot, too.
Oh, my God. Warrior night.
And then let's finish up with my new favorite pastor, who has 3 names, that has a video that he said where he addressed wives. And what did you get out of that helpful video?
Well, he told wives that they better give the husband something to keep him attracted so that he doesn't stray. And then he said something to the effect of like, well, and we all can't look like Melania Trump. And then they showed a picture of her in some big ball gown with her legs to the side. And his whole point was, you know, you've got to be attractive to your husband. He's like, you don't have to look like Melania. Everyone should look like they look, you know, backpedaling a little bit. He goes, but you don't have to look butch. I'm like, well, maybe a guy likes a lady to look butch. Maybe.
And who cares? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought marriage was a commitment according to the church. So now I watched more of it, I watched it, and he talked about wearing makeup so you don't look bad. He talked about how one of his friends told his wife a divorce weight, as in, if you ever go over this, there's a divorce coming.
Meanwhile, the guy is testing the threads that are holding the buttons on to his shirt, right, which is not tucked in.
But he said he doesn't do any Christian counseling for marriages anymore because that's what he would have to say all the time, is tell the woman she's unattractive or overweight or whatever it is. Now,
you're not keeping it tight for your husband.
So, even if you do have a freestanding mustache, it doesn't matter. But since then, he has not only tried to take down videos, I think, but he is now taking a leave of absence and getting counseling.
And it was so fast. Wait, there was something funny in that article that you sent me. So in the article that we got some of this from, it was The Friendly Atheist. And this is the best. The headline, Baptist pastor who told wives to lose weight has taken a, quote, leave of absence. And then the first line in it says, well, that didn't take long. So his shit went viral. There are pictures of him. He looks like Drew Carey from 20 years ago with kind of a flat top thing and stylized glasses. But the entirety of the statement is he's taken a leave of absence.
And Christian Nightmares posted a really funny video of him responding to it. And he is such a goober. His head does that sort of bobbly thing. And he talks to he's as old as I am when I think I'm looking at a camera while filming, but I'm looking to the side of it. And he's like, well, I was just telling the truth, and if people don't like it, and guess what? We don't like it. And fuck you and your disgusting opinions. And if your wife needs help, once again, we're at deconversiontherapypodcast.com. Send in your funny stories. Bonnie has to take care of her dog. I have to take care of my husband. I've got to cook, do a little soft shoe while I do that in the kitchen while I'm
put on
totally
a ball
made
gown.
up. Mm-hmm.
And make sure to shave your legs.
But what I love is when he's like, be like Melania. And you're like, Trump cheated on Melania.
I know.
Fucking asshole. Anyway, have a great week.
Bye.
Goodbye.